choosing the right hoop. If your hoop is very heavy, you're going to have to give it a lot of oomph. If your hoop is too small, it's not going to have enough clearance to make it over your head. I like 1/2 inch 125 PSI tubing for this trick. I find it also works well with the 100 PSI 3/4 inch. When you get into the heavy tubings, the 160 PSI or the 1 inch 100, you really have to give it a lot of oomph to get it up there. Now, no matter what type of hoop you're using, you want to give it a good throw. You're going to hear a whoosh sound as it goes by your head. If you want the hoop spinning to the left when it gets to the top, you're going to be using your right hand and your right leg in the hoop, catching with your right hand, and the hoop will be spinning to the left. If you want the hoop spinning to the right, you're going to be using your left hand with your left leg in the hoop, catching with the left hand, and the hoop will be spinning to the right. So the grip you're going to want to have on the hoop is going to be a hitchhiker's grip. You're going to be grabbing it from behind in your palm with your thumb straight out on the hoop. You're not going to grab it overhand with the thumb. The thumb will be pointed straight out away from you at your side. You're going to stand with the hoop out to your side, grabbing it from behind with your palm facing forward. Alright? You don't want to grab it too far away from you or too close to your body, because your elbow is going to be like a lever pulling it in towards you. Alright? So you want to grab it about 1 foot away from you. You're going to step out to the side in front of the hoop and then step backwards through the hoop. You're going to pull your leg forward so that your feet are now parallel again, and the hoop is touching the front of your shin and the back side of your thigh. You want to pull the hoop back against your leg. That pulling back is going to give it the spring to get up. If you try and throw it from a standstill, it's going to be a lot more difficult. So you want to pull the hoop back against the leg to give it some spring. Now your other leg is going to be in the way if you just throw it at it. So you have to lift that leg at the same time as you throw. And you are throwing. You have to let go of the hoop. That's the most important part. So, as you bring the hand in, bending at the elbow, coming across to the rib cage, you'll be lifting the opposite leg. You're going to then raise the hand that threw the hoop over your head. Now you can catch the hoop with either hand. I recommend catching with the same hand that threw the hoop. Bring the hand in, across the body till it hits the rib cage, lifting the other foot, and then immediately raising it up over your head to catch the hoop. What happens is the hoop flips end over your body. It comes in across your rib cage, and then it's flipping up from behind you. So I want you to draw your hoop into your rib cage using that hand, and then use your other hand if you have to rotate it up behind you. Wherever that top edge of your hoop is, that's the point where you're going to be catching your hoop. So if your hoop is really big, your arm's going to be extended really high. If your hoop is small, you're going to be catching it lower. It's wherever that end over end point ends. So with this hoop, it comes across to my rib cage here, it flips up here, this is where my hand is going to be when I catch it. Same hand that threw it. Bringing it across the rib cage and lifting the hand to that same point where it flips end over end. That's where you're going to catch the hoop. Here you can use the wrist to help propel the final motion all the way up to the full top point, or you can use the wrist to pump it into a lash. You want to keep the other arm out of the way. I usually keep it straight down at my side as I'm doing the escalator. A great way to practice this, if you're either having trouble keeping your arm out of the way or keep getting your leg out of the way, is to use that hand, that opposite hand, to hold the ankle behind you. Whoop. To hold the ankle behind you so that you're now just standing on 1 foot. You've got to be able to maintain your balance on that foot. But now the escalator is going to come up and around you, and you no longer have to keep that arm or that foot out of the way. Now, the catch can be done with the opposite hand. However, I do recommend catching with the same hand that threw the hoop. If you are to try and catch with the opposite hand, it needs to catch at the same point that the hand that threw the hoop would catch, which is going to be, if I'm throwing with my right hand, over my right shoulder. So if I want to catch with my left hand, throwing with my right hand, I'm going to be bending at the elbow and catching at that same point across my face. So to catch with the left hand, throwing with the right hand, bending at the elbow and catching by the right side of the face. Now the escalator can also be done with both feet in the hoop. In this instance, you're going to want to keep your feet close together and you're going to have to throw it even harder to get it out there.